morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all's everybody doing today?
Good morning, good.
How's your day, sir?
All right, you, sir. All right.
You looking very sharp in that Seahawks jersey. Keeping true to your word of wearing a jersey every time for every team the Lions are probably going to be losing to the next day.
Absolutely. Got when we it's the Sean Alexander. Went for it.
I'm still mad the Lions never they should have drafted him. What were they thinking not drafting him? To this day, that was just another in the line of dumb decisions. He was the best running back in that bowl season era, and went to Seattle and did what he was supposed to, where he could have easily have done that for the Lions. But that's another story for another day. As always, don't forget to click like, click share, and let people know that we're out here. And also get the book, Gratefulness Journey Every Day. Let's see here. With the background, it's kind of hard to see it. There it is. Well, I'm using the state background. I'm probably going to try and turn it off because I think the background I have today is a little bit better than not necessarily better than the state one, but in terms of the visibility. Let's see here. It is Saturday, October 1st, 2022. We are in a new month. And we are starting to see the fall colors coming out, and the as well as the let's see, what else are we seeing? The coldness is coming out too. As everyone see if you guys have resist the fact that you want to turn your heater on just yet. Have you been putting on the fuzzy socks and wearing your long johns trying to save a few dollars? Or if you guys just said, forget that, I'm going ahead and put it on, put on my heater.
I turned mine on. I turned mine on the 80.
I have a saying, I'm not freezing for nobody.
Absolutely.
Somebody that I know that I don't we don't always see eye to eye, but we saw eye to eye on that one.
Yes.
So I wouldn't
now you coming over to the side. Yeah, I got you coming. Coming up.
All right, we're gonna go in with our first topic of the week is let's see here. Will Brett Favre go to jail? That was the topic of the week as chosen by you, the wonderful people who watch our show every week. And what do you think, sir? Will Brett Favre go to jail? Let's give a little bit of context. The context being that we have Brett Favre is being charged with welfare fraud for the state of Mississippi, where he has received money, has reportedly funneled money to Southern Miss University through his charity, and well as through other gains because of that. And the FBI is actually involved now. One of those watchdog people out there who go through the fine tooth comb every state's ledgers, because this stuff is public. These things are public, and you'd be surprised what you find. And somebody was very surprised to find that Brett Favre had received money for speeches he was supposed to do that he never did. He was also received money for other endeavors and through his charity, and it also caught up a few other people who didn't know that they were being used because of that money that was being used inappropriately. And so you got a few people out there who are going to go to trial because of that, to prove their innocence, to prove them that they didn't even know that they were being used to get rid of that money for charitable gains. So the question goes back to, will Brett Favre go to jail? What do you think, sir?
Kamau Williams go to jail? Yes.
Yes.
Will Felix Holmes go to jail? Yes. Go to jail? Yeah. How you do it? Slap on the wrist.
Yeah. It's
that's sad. That's real sad. But it's gonna be okay. This is the thing, come on. Where was this at when it was happening? That's coming out now. He ain't been playing football for a while. So why ain't he happening? Why the bin came out? That's the difference between difference by different races. And I don't want to point. Look, a crime is a crime. a black guy did it or a Caucasian guy did. No, but you keep proving. Michael Vick fought dogs. That was on the front page of every news, ESPN, all that. Y'all was ready to ban this man, NFL, the whole nine. The poorest states in the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
And move on. That's crazy. That makes no sense. That's the way it's aligned and set up. That's the only rules as the game is being played. But if it was Michael Vick, if you take both of them, Michael Vick would be it'd be worse than what he did with the dogs. That's sad.
Yep. And just this week, they found out that he was having his charity was funneling money directly, not only from him and him directly, and the governor, and his charity was doing so as well. That's the newest revelations. So he hasn't put out a statement and he hasn't said anything, and to me that's probably the smartest thing. Because at some point, he's just hoping that his news cycle is going to go away. The trial may not go away, but the news cycle hasn't gone away because everyone in the media, in the new media, I should say, keep bringing it back up. Folks like us, folks like Jalen Rose, folks like I'm pretty sure Draymond Green is going to say something about it soon. Like the other topic we're going to talk about later, he helped spur that topic. But hopefully we can get a resolution on this pretty soon. But this is real life, so this is going to be drawn out. This is going to take a little while, so it's going to be a little crazy. And I hope that soon. I hope that it comes to a head soon, and so we can get this out of the way. And they also talk about him being put out of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's going to happen. Did the OJ get put out when he got when things happened with him? Do you remember?
Right. Nah, OJ ain't get put out neither. But nah, ain't nothing gonna happen.
Because they took his Heisman.
Yeah, he did take his Heisman. I thought he sold this and then he tried to steal it back.
No, Ron Goldman's father took it as a part of the settlement because he was supposed to pay so much money. That was what his penance was.
Oh, okay.
And he was and they took it and they melted it down.
Heisman down.
Yeah, they melted it down and they sold it in pieces.
Wow.
Yep.
That's embarrassing.
Yep. So that's that's a sad thing for OJ. But since we on OJ, I'll quickly say I've always thought that if he didn't do it, he knew who did it, and a lot of people was happy that OJ got off with doing it, and I always thought that it was his son who did it, and him and his son, or just his son who did it, and he covered it for him, and or he did it himself. And moved on from there. But that's just a little bit off topic. I'm trying to stress us a little bit. The guests we're having is having a little trouble, so I'm trying to help them get everything together. Trying to come in. So as we move into our next topic is Ime Udoka, the Mr. Love Jones, but that was my nickname for him in the beginning. Mr. Love Jones. Who would have thought that nickname would have been so much more apropos? Because I always called him Mr. Love Jones because he was dating Nia Long, and wow, right. Did that come back to haunt me? That when the kids say that didn't last very long. That didn't what they say? How do they say it? That didn't end well, something like that. They got a saying how stuff come back to bite you. But that nickname for him is pretty telling. This young man has been suspended for an entire year from coaching after leading his team to the NBA Finals as a first-year head coach. And so now he is out, and he recently put out a statement apologizing. Even Nia Long put out a statement. It's getting a lot of people up in arms. Stephen A. arguing with his co-host, Perkins arguing with his co-host, and only people that wasn't arguing about it was Skip and Shannon. They were pretty much on the same page about it. And so it's just interesting to see that. And I'm going to make a quick little segue with that in just a minute, because our guest did ask me specifically if she could come in and speak about it. So I want us as guys to talk just a little bit about Mr. Udoka before we bring in, because she has a very interesting perspective about that situation, seeing that she worked in big time college sports and being and seeing that on a daily basis. So I was glad that she asked to talk about that. But I wanted to speak with you directly before we got to her. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
I mean, Ime, how you say it again?
Ime.
I don't want to mess up the who?
Udoka.
Ime.
Okay,
Udoka. Coach Udoka. Coach Udoka and this, that's between Coach Udoka and Nia Long. Now, my per se take is this. I don't condone cheating. I have been cheated on in relationships, human nature. You're going to find other women attractive, just like women are going to find other men attractive. Today, I don't stay with them. I don't reside with them. They don't reside with me. For this young lady, absolutely. Do I feel bad for him? Absolutely. Lady that did it, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, you're the loser. Who cheat, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to leave whoever they're with, because you make something better than what they have at home. It's the 80-20 rule. All you need is 80% for it to be happy. Flirtation, whatever. That's fine. As long as you don't act on that first. Then the sad thing is, too, it's a child involved. If it was just Nia Long and him involved. So what are you teaching your child? That it's okay to disrespect mommy? Numerous affairs on mommy? Or are you teaching mommy that you're supposed to toughen up? What I'm saying is, once again, I don't condone the debate that's between that man and that woman. Whatever they decide to do, they get the strength and guidance and the help that they need. But at the end of the day, that's and that woman. Now, if she stays with him, a lot of people gonna say she's stupid. You reside with him. You don't reside with him. We don't know. We don't know if Nia Long, because we can all point the finger because he got caught. We don't know if Nia Long ever cheated on him. Look, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. At the end of the day, man and that woman. Because I wouldn't want, look, like Allen Iverson, for half of the NBA, the men cheat on their wives. It's on you if you stay to walk through that door. You're man enough or woman enough to walk. Because everybody called Juanita Jordan stupid. Mike was like, how much is it gonna cost me for that lady to leave? They told Mike the number. Mike said, give me a pen. And signed the pen.
Well, no, that was the second time. The first time he was like, how much money? I think we can work this out.
What I'm saying is, if she walked away, Nia Long could walk away from my man. Shared a preacher. This is what I'm saying. So you have to level of hurtness. Because if you got to keep questioning every time he leaves, I really want to live like that. Do you really believe he playing golf? Do you really believe that can? So I give kudos to them two women, supreme athletes in their lives. You know what I'm saying? But then on the look at Vanessa Bryant. Rest in peace to Kobe. Kobe cheated. And a beautiful daughter was born out of that. Mm-hmm. So to each his own.
Yeah. Well, in terms of looking at it from the Boston Celtics perspective, for him to get to a level, him being suspended for a year, a whole lot really must have been going on. I don't know exactly what was happening, but for all of that to happen, for them to say you're gonna get 1 year, a lot had to have been going on. He must have been, he must have felt like he was invincible. Hey, I'm making these millions. I just took him to the championship. We doing well. I got MVP candidates on my team. I can do what I want to do. And I'm pretty sure he was warned at some point. Hey, cut this out.
That's what I read too. I read that he was back on something else I said earlier. Okay. The great Steve McNair cheating on his wife. His lover shot him and shot herself. Mm-hmm. His wife had to go through. She had to bury her husband and didn't even know why. That's burying my spouse that cheated on me, and I don't even know what I did for him to cheat on me. And so that's what I'm saying. It's levels to it, man. But I hope they can work it out. And I'm not saying for the sake of the kid, because kids to be brought here. But on the same token, if you're gonna work it out, get some work. Sit down amongst yourself before you seek professional help.
Good. Well, we're gonna use this really quickly as a bridge to bring in our guests. We want to thank Julita Nolan and Marshall Gilkey for joining us today. We have a special guest. Her name is Chevelle O'Brien, and she has I want to bring her in this point of our discussion while we're talking about Ime Udoka, because she asked me, hey, I know you guys are gonna be talking about that. I got some things I want to say about that as well, and so if we can bring her in. Thank you for joining us, Miss O'Brien. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys for having me.
Good morning.
I'll just have a quick
introduce the son. Well, really quickly, we'll introduce the son and say and reintroduce the others. Miss Chevelle O'Brien. She is currently a teacher in Detroit Public Schools and a longtime friend. So go ahead. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to interject on that a little bit. I think from my perspective, on the Udoka case, it's saddening because as a Black man, you had a head coaching position in Boston, which is one of the most racist, cities there is. So you have a lot on your back. So you have to move a certain kind of way. We all know what happens in the NBA. We all know what happens in the NFL, all professional athletes, high school, college, it doesn't matter. But you have to stay true to the craft and what you're there for. And yes, you were successful. You took them to the, you could have won, and you did some great things in the first year of your career. So you also have a level of self-control. And as you piggybacked on, me being in sports, working around men, college, been a former athletic director, head coach for boys basketball, went to Central State, worked with NFL players, you have to have a certain type of self-control. It's not made for the weak, obviously. But at the same time, look how many people you let down in that process as a Black man and a head coach in Boston. And for what? And it is a little more than that, as the story is unfolding, they're saying he was messing with multiple women and some of them got pregnant and he's badgering them to get abortions. That's what the problem is.
Good.
That's what's coming out. So, I don't know what's going on. Like you said, I'll piggyback on that. I'm not in their house or whatever, but on him, you had a certain responsibility and you dropped the ball. And that could be over power, ego, and what have you. You represented and you did well. You were set up for another year. And was it worth it? Was it worth it? Because one, they're not married. So could you be quote unquote, is he technically cheating? He's not married.
No.
10 years you've been engaged. I'm not going to be with somebody for 10 years engaged. I'm not. You know, and no, we don't know what their arrangement is, but at the end of the day, is it really cheating? And for her to have her job, the woman that he so-called was cheating with, her job is protected. Nobody's firing her. So what is this really about? That's just what I have to say.
Thank you so much for eloquently putting that post, that quote together. I did not know about these chirins, so that definitely I can see why they were.
Man, what is chirins?
Chirins, not child, children, chirins.
But that's allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay. Well, because they did say that's what pretty much prompted the full investigation, that there were some threats going on. So I could see where that type of threat would be happening. Because wow. We're gonna pray for everybody involved in that situation, top to bottom. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, Chin. The how he allegedly got these kids or whatever. Have a kid by him though? If you was okay, you already doing. What I'm saying is, you're always with me alone. You're having unprotected sex with somebody who's already in a relationship. You don't have a kid with him. He's not about to leave her to be with you, right?
But you know, they were living in two different states.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much the majority of the year, while he's doing this, you know, the lady that allegedly, she schedules the traveling. So he's there in Boston by himself. She just helped her move there 2 weeks ago. So he's been in Boston by himself as a man.
Right. But when I'm in a relationship and I'm cheating with you, and I happen, you get pregnant, why would you want to conceive a child by me when you're already seeing this?
I mean, it's the power.
Right?
It's the power. The ego.
Power? What power would you have? You wouldn't have no power. Okay, that's it. I'm going to take care of my baby. I still ain't going to be with you. So what power did you get? You didn't get no power.
No, I think she's saying that the power that Ime has. I think she's saying the women are enamored by the power that Ime has, and saying that this powerful man, I have a child by this powerful man. I think that's what she's saying.
And he's black. This lady's white.
Okay, so to understand, negate what you're saying, to understand what you're saying, Calvin Murray, basketball player, he has over 12 kids. He's not a father to none of them. The White Howard, he's father to none of them. That's what I'm saying. So I can still, I'm going to pay for I'm going to call it a mistake because a kid is not a mistake. I'm going to pay for my child. I'm still be with me alone.
But what you're missing, the small part is that there are two types of women in the world. There's wife material and it's mistress material. It's side chicks. You know, this is what they do.
Absolutely.
They don't, it's all about integrity. You know, I don't aim in life to be second in anything that I do.
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely not made for that. But you have a group of women, which seems to be society is accepting that it's okay, especially when you know he has a woman or a wife. They get a charge out of that. I don't know, but that was never my lane. So
now you're on an episode of Basketball Wives.
Hey guys, it's early. Cut it out. No, but you know that's what I'm
just
saying.
being.
I can't relate either. I don't understand it, so I don't understand.
Okay, look at okay.
All right, well,
here we go. Here's a good example. Everybody knows Tammy Rowland, correct?
Right.
Look at Tammy Rowland. What did she really blow up on though? Off of Basketball Wives. She never was a wife. Well, yes, she was. She was married to Kenny.
She was married to Kenny Anderson.
Right. She was married to Kenny. She got it. Kenny cheated. Right. But did that really launch her career?
She was on the Real World before.
She was on the Real World. That was my introduction.
What I'm saying is, the Real World really launched her out to Canada. Basketball Wives did, because now she has her own show called Cheater. That's what I'm saying. But if what I'm saying is, she never divorced. Is she where she is now? Probably not, because she put all the tales out. She phones. He had this. He had that. She put so much information that half of them wives didn't even know. That's what I'm saying. She became the wife. That's all I'm saying.
At
But
the end of the day, Coach Udoka had a responsibility. He has to have self-control, and he blew it for temptation.
I'm not gonna say
And
he blew
then
it. Everybody gets the second chance.
Here's
in life.
why
I'm
I
not
had to
gonna say
agree
he blew it.
with I don't see him coming back to Boston.
exactly.
That's why I had to agree with that point. He may be a college coach somewhere at a small D3 school, or he may go to a top level high school program. But him coming back to Boston, if he does, I'm gonna send you one of those edible arrangements, because I don't see him coming back.
So
Because it's what, a year suspension,
it's 32,
right? Is it a year suspension?
Mm-hmm.
right? It's 32 years. It's 32 teams in the NBA. You telling me he can't land a job? No.
I don't see him coming back as a head
They're
coach.
saying that, he can't be trusted and things like that, just based on, like I said, this is still unraveling. But just the little bits and pieces that we're hearing, it's kind of like nobody wants to touch him. Nobody's denying his talent. That's first of all. But he shouldn't have denied his talent. This is your character we're looking at here. So you got other organizations, all this is going on. It's kind of like now you're making everybody look at everybody's organization. It's like blowing it off the top, and it's just unfortunate at the end of the day. But I don't see him coming back to Boston at all.
Well, then okay, he cheated on his girlfriend,
fiance,
and Rivers
Say the potato.
Glenn Rivers has a porn addiction. So coach to the 76ers.
Well, that's a different topic for a different day. I understand where you're going, but we can't. Here's why we can't keep fighting this one. We got to move forward. We got to move forward. We got to move forward.
Just saying. I'm saying everybody has vices.
I agree.
His vice is watching porn.
But whatever he's done, it's to the point where they're focusing on him at this
I
point.
got her spot.
Because I almost said something stupid out of catch myself.
Yeah, he had a responsibility.
Okay, now we don't disagree with all that, but we got to keep, in the interest of time, we got to keep the show moving. We did bring Miss O'Brien here to talk about her and all the things that she's accomplished. So we can definitely talk about this literally the rest of the hour, but we want to make sure we highlight.
Yeah, let's
Miss
talk
O'Brien
about the rest of the hour. Forget everything. Sports is sports.
Right, you just get to going like,
hey, y'all done got me up now. I was
me
asleep
too.
now. I'm over here stirring the pot, man.
Yes,
I'm stirring the pot.
Yes, you are.
All right, we're gonna leave it. The last word of Ms. Carver Evans is different when it's one of the executive vice. We're gonna leave that. Thank you, Ms. Evans. We're gonna move forward with Ms. O'Brien. She is currently at Henry Ford High School as the head girls cross country, head girls basketball coach, and assistant track coach. She came originally out of Burton International when I met her back in 1987, where she transitioned into the King MSAT program and graduated from Cody High School. Graduated at Central State University, and we both started in DPS in 1997. Her in April 1st, and me right after the strike. I'm sorry, 1999. Me right after the strike.
Yeah. That was about fresh out of college. They're like, you can't go to work. I'm like, what? Yeah. Fresh out of
I started just a little bit later because of the strike that year, and she's been at McKenzie, Osborne,
everywhere,
Cass, Northwestern, and so that tells you a lot of people have careers like that.
I've never been to Mumford. That's crazy. Never. But we just played him last night. Cass did.
Haven't been to Mumford.
And I know that
you need to let me hire me as your agent.
She wants to highlight the fact that her son is a senior this year at Cass Tech, and it was Parents' Night last night, and that she's been keeping very, very busy with that young man. Yes. And we're gonna do our best to get him some looks, to get him a college scholarship, so Mama can do nothing but send him spending money. So
I appreciate it. Okay.
All right. So first thing is, what was your favorite school in DPS to work at, and why?
Wow. To be with all honesty, I would have to say Cass Tech.
Bye. Man, I'm
Because
done, man. I knew she
this
was
is
gonna
because
say
let me
that.
explain something. I spent 6 years at Cass, and it was more so the athletes that ran through there that are now in the NFL. I was there during that time with the DPJs, um, Michael Amu. Most of them went to Michigan, but it was the sense of, and I worked with Thomas Welcher. He was the football coach at the time, and to see all that excitement and all those scouts, all those schools there for just kids. And I had those kids since they were like in the 8th grade, just coming to Cass, unknown. You didn't even know where they were going to wind up. And then to see them on TV, that is amazing. And then you have to look at the other part where the other schools that might be like neighborhood schools. I started at McKenzie. I worked, my mentor was Robert Dozier, may he rest in peace. That's Jerome Bettis's
Yeah,
coach.
that way.
So he took me, I was fresh out of college, and I didn't understand that, you had to work hard to be like a head coach. And he took me under his wing, called me his daughter, taught me everything. So I was already groomed to be an AD fresh out of college under him. I learned everything from him.
An
So
athletic director.
Hey,
You've been athletic director twice.
yeah,
What were your
DJP.
What do you?
What you say, Felix?
I say you ain't mentioned Mike Kyron. He played with Donovan
Who?
People Jones.
Who?
Kyron McKinley.
I don't know Kyron.
See what I'm saying? This is why. This is why
Ask him.
Obama say
Ask him.
we can't.
First of all, Cass is a big school, thousands of kids, and then I was the
Yeah,
phys ed
it
teacher.
was.
So if they didn't have me through phys ed, this is how I met most of these kids.
He played
It's
on
so big, you
the
can't
football
even
team.
imagine. That don't mean I know
He
every
was on the
football
football.
player.
You don't know
Ask him,
Kyron McKinley?
Ask him, do he know Coach O'Brien?
He trying to turn stuff around.
We gonna keep moving forward. We gonna keep
Come
moving
on,
forward.
get Felix.
We gonna keep
Yeah, you
moving
trying to
forward.
turn stuff around.
All right.
You know what?
As an
I ain't-
athletic
you know
director, you
what?
had some great successes. Speak a little bit about some of your successes as an athletic director.
Actually, Henry Ford was the first school. Ken, who I work with now, Ken Flowers, he had a mascot, and I always admired that. And one thing, when I was the athletic director at Osborne, I made sure that those students on 7 Mile and Hoover had a mascot, and that was like something that I really enjoyed. A lot of things, because when you work in certain neighborhood schools, you really come in and you see that little light in them, and some of them think they can't do things or they can't accomplish things, and my way is through sports. So for them to be like, hey, can I be the mascot, or just bringing kids off the street that normally wouldn't even attend school events, or would be fighting, or would be in guns, or would be in drugs, and they wanted to be the mascot. That was just a small highlight, but it meant a lot to me there. And like I said, even just coaching throughout the years, a lot of Brian Tipton, he's now the principal at Persian. He allowed me to be on his staff, and I just started off keeping stats. I just had my son or daughter, I can't remember, but I was just keeping stats at first, and that blossomed into Tip saying, hey, I want you on my staff to be one of the boys' assistant coaches. That was a big highlight in my career. Like, wow, so for men to give you that stamp and show you the ropes or appreciate your input, you can't go wrong with that. But like I said, teaching 23 years in DPS, coached boys sports, even when I was at Kettering, because like I said, I am DPS. I was the boys swim coach, the boys golf coach, under Travis. Travis was the athletic director. Bogart was the principal, but then he died. So I've been around for 23 years. I have 7, and then I'm going to retire. So.
All right. Well, that leads to my next question. A lot of people don't know, if you're a teacher in most school districts, a phys ed teacher anyway, a part of your contract as a phys ed teacher is to coach at least one semester or one sport. And oftentimes that does lead to women having to coach the men's sport. What are some of the hurdles that you've had to overcome being a female coaching the men?
To be honest with you, I think for me, it started up how I grew up. I'm built for it. I grew up on 12th, Rosa Parks, grew up across the street from Derek Coleman. My whole neighborhood is full of guys. I'm a tomboy. And then I went to Central State. I wind up being in sports, working around, being a trainer. I'm a Hall of Famer. I got inducted in the Hall of Fame, Central State 2017, by Billy Joe and I worked under Kevin Porter for the Detroit Pistons. So I'm built for it. I've never had any issues with the young men. Actually, Brenda Gatling was the first woman that I know that coached boys basketball. And Steve Hall told me that. I didn't even know that. But, and I've even had boys say, you should coach us, that kind of thing. So I've never had any issues. It's not about, I don't want to listen to her. She's a female. I had that problem being an AD. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to listen. They don't want to do what you're asking them to do, coaches. But other than that, I've never had an issue. It's actually quite, when you can get guys to buy into the program and do what they're supposed to do, I don't have those issues. So like I said, I haven't coached many boys sports, but I did coach golf at Kettering, boys golf, boys swimming at Kettering, and with Tip, the boys basketball. And it was just pretty much my input that kind of, how coaches will get in a huddle and they'll say, well, do you have anything you want to say? Those type of things. Those type of guys gives you that look. The kids, they really buy into it. So I've never really had any issues.
All right. All right. Well, in the interest of time, I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to go a little bit further into you and your career. We talked about the Ime Udoka thing, and that was a great conversation. I did tell you I had one question I wanted to ask you that I did prepare you for. Now,
excuse me.
Now, here's we're gonna ask you this question. We're gonna get you out of here. A lot of people don't know. You're Chevelle O'Brien. You know me as Kamau. I know you as Chevy.
Right.
What happened to the album?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, here's why I asked that. Chevelle is one of the best rappers ever.
Oh my God.
When I say she better than, I'm not even gonna say female rapper. She can give you a high 16 and hurt your feelings because you don't see it coming. So I'm gonna ask you again, what happened to the album?
Wow. And I want to say this is almost a 40-year friendship from Cranbrook. You my brother. So I'm like, oh my gosh, Kamau. What happened was you have to make a choice in life. And, I was in the rap scene, I had to go to work for the 8 Mile movie. You're supposed to be there every day. It was a choice at the time that I really gave up for students in my career. I never thought it would be a good look because if I'm going to do something, I got to do wholeheartedly. And then I was still a teacher. So I was kind of blood in the crypt at the same time. And then I said, I had to make a decision. And I chose my career. And yes, people have asked me, and it is a passion because I love music. And yes, I probably could have been a star. I will agree with that. Now that I look back, I could have done it. But I just gave it up for the children of DPS and my career. And then I've started a family. So I just kind of came off the radar and I pop into little things here or there. I'm still around, but, I don't rap anymore. I can't believe you said that.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was just waiting for all these years. Like, she gonna do it. She gonna do it. I mean, I'm of course, we know people that's still in the game. So hopefully, as you continue, as you transition to being a empty nester, that's something that you can bring back. Because I'm trying to tell you, they don't want to see you.
No, they don't.
All those Barbies, whatever they call that stuff out there, they will be very hurt when you come on the scene and put them all in their place.
You know what? Come on,
I'm serious one because you got that kind of that kind of gift.
Small thing, and I'm gonna get out of here. The closest I got again was when I was the senior sponsor at Cass, and Big Sean gave us that Adidas studio, right? And I was the sponsor, and I was in the cipher, and the kids were blown back. They like, oh, so that was the closest I got to it again. It felt great, but it was like, oh, the kids were amazed. And then we had a real studio in Cass that year, 2016. So I was in the cipher, like the only teacher that ever rapped in the cipher. But I tore it up. But
All right. Now I do have an ask, and we want to get you out of here. Maybe maybe not today. I know you're not prepared mentally to give a 16, but we gonna at some point we gonna need a theme song, and I would love for you to be a part of that.
You know what? I just might. I like that Lucchini falling from the sky from Camp Low. I'm old school.
Okay. All right. Like we gonna have to definitely put that together.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Really quickly,
Felix, any questions really quickly before we get her out of here so we can go through the show?
Felix. Oh, you ain't got nothing to say, Felix.
Hey, you're grad at Central State. My aunt went there, so she
Oh,
graduated.
okay.
So.
Okay. So you know what it is. HBCU all day. Listen, I had a ball. Thank you guys for inviting me. Kamau, you know you're the only person I would even fathom getting on here with. I love you, brother. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We should talk to you soon.
Okay, you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right, that was Miss Chevelle O'Brien, a great friend of mine I've known for many, many years. And I'm serious when I say that. When I say she can rap, and I'm serious. So, like I say, if she when at some point, hopefully, she can get back into that lane because she's definitely better than I can't. I won't even say female rapper. She's better than most rappers. Period. Out there. All right, really quickly, don't forget, click like, click share, get your book. Gratefulness Journey Every Day by this gentleman right here, Mr. Marcus Home, the Wiz as he lives in Oz, the man behind the scenes, doing all the great stuff that we don't see. And so we'll make sure we support him because we're going to talk about Sweetest Day. That's a good Sweetest Day gift for yourself as well as your spouse. We're going to get to that as a part of our close of the day. And so how do you get the book, you say? Go to Amazon. Like his profile on Amazon. Order it, get it on Prime. You can have it in just a few days. All righty. Moving into football, we're gonna get through it as fast as we can and cut through a little bit of things. Top news in football right now. You got undefeated Miami, who was undefeated, and Philadelphia left. The Raiders are 0-3. Cincinnati, they beat Miami, and Arizona at 1-2. These are surprise teams that we thought would have been doing better right now. Is it just the NFL, or is this something that we saw coming? What you think?
Well, I'm shocked with that 0-3 Raiders. I'm shocked. I thought it would have been 0-3. I figured Devontae played that much of a influence on, he was so much of a, I was like, wow, man. Like Aaron, they missed the beat, man. It's like, wow. But I hope they turn it around, but it ain't looking so good because they said he only Devontae Adams. It's like he forgot the other two people.
Now,
so,
let me ask this
I don't know. He's gonna have to get that.
I know you're gonna like this. Who's the coach of the Raiders now?
The guy from the Patriots.
The guy from the Patriots. He was with Denver for a minute. Do you think that that once again it's the Bill Belichick coaching tree curse that's catching up to him?
No, I think he just have to. I think what's the quarterback name? I can't think of the quarterback. What is the quarterback? I think he just has to. Okay.
David.
Who?
I can't think of his last name, but David.
Right. Okay. David Carr. Okay. I think David Carr has to realize that before Devontae Adams came, you had Waller and you had the other guy. Just add Devontae into the mix. That's all you got to do. But I get Devontae is the prime factor, so I get it. But now you can't shield what you did. He wasn't there last year. Him in. I get it. He should be more targets, but don't forget that. And once David Carr realizes that, they'll be fine. It's just a point of when he gonna realize it. Because right there and down looking at 0-4. But once they get the first win, I think that'd be all right.
Okay. All right, because this is the first time in a long time that almost every team has had at least one win this early in the season, and I'm shocked that the Raiders are the only team that's sitting at 0-3. But hopefully they can turn around and have a good season. Normally 0-3 teams don't make the playoffs at this point, but hey, why not them be the first? All righty, let's see here. Let's look at college football. Does Michigan State suck, or do they suck? So I'm saying that emphatically and as a question. What's really going on in these lands right now? Why do you think they're having the troubles that they have?
It's not a problem. Come on, man. We both bleed green and white. It's not a problem. What was their record last year?
Last year they were 12-3?
11-2.
11-3. 11-2.
11-2. What's their record right now?
2-2.
So if he wins games, what's the problem? They're 11-2, right?
Okay.
See,
I can.
I told you, I sat there and I did the math. Okay? Oh, the only thing here, 2 losses right now. If they were 4-0, we'd still be saying, okay, they 4-2. Now, if he loses today and he loses next week, you could kind of he can go 9. They can go 9-0 and they finish 11-2. The same record they had last year. Okay, out of the words of Aaron Rodgers, and you know I don't even like Aaron Rodgers. Relax. There you go.
He always goes, shh, relax. You're right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about it. Just because they don't look. They look a little out of sorts. They don't look like they're on the same page. Is what I'm worried about.
Game. Now you remember me and you talked during that game. You was like, I say, relax. We had to fly across the country. Relax.
Right. Now, I'm glad you said that.
Today, wasn't you glad you turned it back on?
No, because I didn't watch the rest of that game. So after I told you I was done, all I did was watch the score. And once I realized you said Penix, it didn't dawn on me who that really was. I saw the homecoming game in person 3 years ago where he put up 400-some yards in passing. And when I saw him again, I said, oh, Lord, we in trouble, because I know he was mad because we beat him on the last-second touchdown. That was really kind of a fluke. So I knew that he was really going to be gunning up for us this time we played him.
We good, man.
Okay.
We good. Don't call for his head. Yeah, we good.
I'm not calling for his head because I felt that last year we were a little ahead of schedule more than what we probably should have been. Because then,
okay. But then you got to figure too, and this is no excuse. You know me, I don't like excuses. Last year we had Kenneth Walker. We don't. Last year we had one of the receivers. The receiver's not there. But the Washington game, we been kid. Number 0. He's on the basketball team too. I'm like, how does Steve play football? Dude is he's nice. They gonna be all right. I think it was more of playing in Seattle. Nationally tough. Mel didn't get them ready. They would have came to East Lansing, you would have seen a totally different game. Now, you need to play as good as on the road as you do at home. You do. Last week game, Minnesota. When have you ever seen Minnesota? The last time I know Minnesota to be good was when they had Marion. They had the two punch running back. Nah. At Michigan State, you kind of not a cakewalk, but not. I wouldn't have thought they would have got blew out to Minnesota. But trust me. Relax.
Okay. All right.
Look, I don't care what he do, as long as he take care of up the road. He can win. He can beat Michigan and lose the rest of the game. I don't care.
Okay. Move forward really quickly. Herm Edwards was fired coming off the field. I've heard of them saying, they don't let him go in the locker room. But this was visualized. They had the camera trained on him.
Yeah,
they already brought him over, and you can see the head down with the shaking. And that was it. Next you see a picture of him in the airport. Was that fair of him being fired on the field like that?
I think it was a setup. I do. I think Herm Edwards was set up. I think Herm Edwards, he was at Arizona State. Incredible coach. But I think he was set up. I really do.
Because there was some reports out that they were
they have in mind
game plans.
Who they want, and knowing he wasn't going to resign or wasn't going to go nowhere. I really do. It's kind of like him. Remember the Titans. Remember when he tried to say Denzel, if Denzel didn't win, he would be the coach again, and then my man changed, and it was like, you just lost coach of the year. I think they set him up.
Yeah, because there was a report that said that they were sending the game plan to the other team.
Yep, I read that too. Right.
I saw that. That's crazy. Yep. All right. We pretty much back on. We had to cut a few things up, but we're pretty much back on track. And as we come towards the end of our show, we're going to take a quick pause for the calls as we get ready for Stupid Sports News. All righty. First thing we have in Stupid Sports News, we have NFL fight. The Bills' Bobby Hart trying to fight a player on the Titans and wound up punching a coach. And God gets himself suspended. What was he thinking?
You know, to be honest with you, I didn't even see it. Okay, remember back in the day, Jerry Glanville and what was my man name? Used to coach. Remember they got to fighting on the sideline 1 year. So I mean that's part of the game. Every coach ain't.
The significance is the player punched the coach, even though it wasn't intended for the coach. He punched the coach. The punch was intended for another player, but he ducked it and came over the top.
Oh, he did the
that's the significance.
Hill and duck.
Right. Yeah. So that was the significance of it. We've had coaches fighting each other on the sideline. What's the coach used to be at? He was the coach for the Eagles for all those years. Him and his father, Buddy Ryan, and Buddy Jr. and his son, they both were fighting on the sideline. Buddy Sr. punched somebody, and his son punched somebody on the sideline. So that's generational punching. So that's different. It's always players fighting on the sideline. That's nothing new, I should say. It's not right, but being a former player, emotions run high when things are on the line. You're trying to win, and people not doing their job, and people get upset. So that's not the issue. The issue is a player punched the coach, even though it's mistakenly. The player punched the coach. So now he is suspended. Was it mistaken? I would hope so, because that's right. That's career ending. That's career ending. It could be potentially. So, but he only got suspended 1 game because he was into it with another player. Had it been player on coach like that, you probably could have canceled Christmas for his career because that's the Sprewell. That's the Sprewell.
No, Spree did was totally that was unacceptable.
I'm talking about in that same vein, fighting the coach. If you into with a coach, y'all talking junk at the end of the game, going in the locker room, and you swing on the coach, you pretty much gonna cancel Christmas with that guy because that's not something the league gonna put up with. Team on team, coach to coach. Even when the Lions coach got into it with Harbaugh walking off the field, which was the funniest fight ever. That was the funniest fight I ever saw in my life. They got
last year when the guy from Michigan State snatched away from Izzo. He was going to the halftime. But Izzo was trying to talk to him. Was it Gabe Brown? Gabe Brown was like, man, get off of me.
But they worked that out though. That pretty much that really affected that game. The kid, but didn't the kid come back though?
Yeah, Gabe came back.
Right. So it worked out. That's what I'm saying. But that did affect the game greatly. But emotions run high. I've had that happen where I'm coaching the kid. Kid got mad and get that coach. Blah blah blah. Lots of strong words back. So it happens. But when somebody throwing punches, that's a totally different thing. Whether we coach throw a punch, that he could lose his job for that, or player, that those are things that are quote unquote inexcusable. All righty. Next thing we have, at the behest of players and lots of pressure, Phoenix Mercury owner Robert Sarver is now selling the team. Last time we in Stupid Sports News reported how he had made an unsafe work environment for players, saying the N-word at will for women, pretty much doing the Udoka, singing and grabbing and talking and doing all kind of stuff he's not supposed to. Where originally he was given a 1-year suspension and no use of team facilities, anything like that for the owner, which I thought was crazy because the precedent had already been set with the Clippers, a former owner. The precedent was already been set. So
Right.
why is it that what was so different about him that he got a 1-year suspension as opposed to the previous owner being immediately saying that he got to sell his team? I think the difference
Because
is the who was it? The commissioners, 2 different commissioners. You got the first commissioner, David Stern, was like, no, not on my watch. You got to go. As opposed to the new guy who was a little more soft.
it was the same commissioner. That
That wasn't Stern.
David Stern. No, David Stern didn't get rid of him. It was the commissioner now. It was the commissioner now.
Adam. Oh man,
Adam
Adam
Silver got
Silver,
rid of Donald Stern. David Stern had already passed. Rest in peace. No, David Stern was already deceased.
So
Adam Silver.
So the question remains: what was the difference?
Because you had audio of Robert Server. That's the difference.
So like the NFL was what's name getting punched.
Correct. Donald Sterling, you actually heard him saying the reason they had their cars. I'm the reason they have their houses. I'm the reason they have their pool. We didn't hear Robert Server say that. We just, heard allegations. So, but I believe they both should have got the same punishment. To me, they both should have got the same punishment. But the only reason why is because you actually hear Robert Server.
So basically, the optics of it was totally different. Okay. All right. I understand that. I definitely understand that. Mm-hmm. All right. Really quickly, we want to make sure we thank Vicki Johnson Williams for joining us today. John Kershaw, Teresa Marshall, Teresa Marshall, Darren Smith. We got some other folks over here. Ramona Cox. Make sure I get everybody. Sandra Dean, Jan Holmes Boyd, James Williams, Nicole Baldwin, Karen Poole, Rochelle Weathers, Darren Smith, David Coleman, Christina Smith, Carmen Winbush, Ronald Riggs, Tamuk, Scruggs, Ulysses DeShazer, Vanessa Adner, Mama V, Vanessa Adner, the good Reverend Doctor, and Tony Cook. Thank you guys for coming in and joining us today for our show. Our next show will be on October 15th, and that'll be our Sweetest Day show. And Sweetest Day, as we see it now, it's supposed to be for the men. Sweetest Day originally was set up for the orphans. Is a day to give something sweet to an orphan, because as the orphans back in the day had lived a really, really hard life, but morphed over the years into Sweetest Day being the Valentine's Day for men. But as all holidays are, the women have taken them over, and so we want to try and highlight the men for Sweetest Day on our show on the next show for the 15th. We haven't quite finalized everything that we're going to do, but we're going to be coming out really, really soon with something for contest to make your Sweetest Day a little bit sweeter. And so we're going to ask the women to do a little something and highlight and highlighting your significant other or whoever it is that you love out there, because we want to make sure the men get the kudos, because oftentimes we just get a pat on the back and where's my stuff and a thank you. So we want to thank you guys for coming out today. See you guys on the 15th. Thank you again, Miss O'Brien. We want to apologize again to Pierre for the internet gremlins getting to him. We're going to have him back again on the later show. Thank you, Felix, for another wonderful show again. See everybody in 2 weeks. Be safe. Remember, come check us out. Thank you again.